were very simple, small. The good news is principal time continues in the lesson 3, so hardly 15 minutes and we are done with these two. Decentralized decision making. So there is a video, it was part of your PDF also. I'll let you explore later. It's a good idea. It's a case study, not a safe video. It is coming from a book named Turn the Ship Around, and where the US Navy guy is sharing that how he started delegating the work and engaging people in the ship in order to get ready for inspection, and how the overall engagement resulted into better compliance and better engagement. So again, making a case for decentralizing the responsibility, decentralize the decision making, because it creates engagement. It also linked to the principle we discussed yesterday, autonomy, mastery, and purpose. So as we do decentralization, we increase autonomy. Yeah? And when we increase the autonomy, it also helps us in getting intrinsic motivation. People will be motivated to do the job. So that's the another advantage of it. Now, what is centralization and what is decentralization? In a simple word, we spoke about lean portfolio management yesterday. If you remember the safe configuration, we can say the decision made by LPM is centralized, which means it is made for, say, 1,000 people. One group is taking a call, and that impacts the 1,000 people. Centralized decision making. Decentralization, you can say agile team taking a call is decentralized. Like we can say the lowest unit in case of safe scheme of working is agile team, small agile team, and maybe the highest unit in a safe scheme of working is a lean portfolio management, your PMO group, whatever, that's few people sitting there. So we need to identify which decisions need to be taken by lean portfolio management and which decision needs to be taken by the team. Usually the way roles are defined, that takes care. But here we are talking about some reasons and why we expect the product owner to decide about user story rather than a portfolio guy talking about user story. But the portfolio guy should talk about business epics and business initiative, which company should take next. Why the product owner should not talk about the next strategy of the organization. So the reason behind it with the help of this principle is explained. Now, what does it tell us? It is saying the things which are infrequent, having long-lasting impact, and has a good amount of money involved, significant economy of scale involved, that can be keep centralized. We trust few individuals to make that due diligence for a big group, because it is not something you do every day. The organization strategy is not made every day. It's a 3 months, 6 months thing. So we don't have urgent stuff. But when you make it, it produces a long-lasting impact. You decide on one strategy, a lot of execution happens. If you want to roll it back, it takes money, it takes time. Yeah? It's not like tomorrow only you decide to roll it back. So it has a long-lasting impact. And since it has a long-lasting impact, it has a money involved as well. So it has a big economy of scale. So such kind of things should be centralized. What should be decentralized? Things which are frequent. Say, should we fix this defect in this iteration or go to the next? Should we add an acceptance criteria to this user story or create a separate user story for it? It's a frequent thing you need to do on a daily basis. They are time critical. If you don't decide now, the user story is hanging. You can't hold, say, we will discuss about it next month. Should we have an acceptance criteria added to this user story or a separate user story? You need to decide now because user story is going on. So they are time critical. And even if you go with this problem to your management, and say, management, we want to understand, should we fix this defect here or do it in the next? So management will ask you local information only. They can't decide. They don't have anything from their side which can add value here. They will ask you only what is this defect, how it impacts, how likely it is getting generated, what is the consequence of it. All the information is available locally. So in a simple word, whenever the information is locally available, the things are happening frequently and things are also time critical. We want to have a decentralized decision making, and more we do decentralization, more we do autonomy increase, because we are letting the developer, letting the product owner, letting the agile team take a call. But there could be few things which are little strategic in nature. Maybe you want to ensure that the development platform or a database for the whole application, maybe you want to have a centralized decision for it. It's not like each team can decide which database they want to use. So that could create an issue because it has a long-lasting impact. It has a significant economy of scale involved. It has a lot of architectural consideration involved. It is not something frequently has to be done. But things which are related to fixing a defect or not fixing the defect can be done at a team level. So SAFe is saying we have designed the roles and a framework considering this already, it's ready made there. But whenever you have a situation where you are confused, should we take a call at a team level or should we take a call at a senior level, you can use these parameters, centralized versus decentralized, by looking at infrequent, long-lasting, or significant economy of scale. Yeah? So that's a simple explanation. Then there are some words where we have some, I will come to this exercise to show you, but let me clarify some theory here. So it is saying whenever you make a centralized decision, yeah, then we should focus on communicating it. So first we need to openly explain how the decisions are made. We need to talk about what all considerations should be considered while making the decision, and we need to educate people on decision making process rather than making decision for them. So we better establish a framework. Maybe you think about economics, think about cost involved, think about customer satisfaction impact, and based on the cost and customer satisfaction, make a decision. So you set up a framework for your team to make a decision rather than you make decision yourself. Provide them clarity of what is organization objective. So the framework will clarify that what company is trying to achieve. Maybe customer satisfaction is more important for us, or the cost saving is more important for us. What is the priorities? Once they have it clarity, then they can make the right decision. We need to help the team by way of educating them, providing some problem solving skills so that they can make decisions on a frequent basis. Now, whenever you end up making centralized decision, maybe your company has some decisions which needs to be made at an LPM level or an org level, then you need to explain those decisions clearly to your teams. So take a responsibility of making and communicating strategic decision. Yeah. So they should know what was the reason why we made that decision, because it should not be, oh, what do we do? Management has decided it. So then it is no ownership coming. The autonomy is getting disconnected. Engagement is getting disconnected. So we try to make maximum decision in collaboration. In case some decision has to be made at a centralized level, the people who are making the decision should communicate well and explain the justification behind those decisions so that people can appreciate the whole context rather than just following the management decision. So that's the idea here. Now it's a small fun activity which is presented here. You can say that we can put some set of decisions. Yeah. Again, this is too early to talk about these terms, so maybe they will not make sense here. Maybe we can discuss in a different way. So I can talk about few decisions, assuming you want to make your own personal decision making process. You are a manager and you have a team leader also. You are trying to find out what decision as a manager, as a project manager, I keep making, or what kind of decision I should delegate to my team leader. I'm just purposefully not using words Scrum Master and others, just to keep it simple. So say I want to approve leave. Yeah? So that's the one decision I make. People apply for leave and then I approve. I also approve defects. Yeah, right now. And I also say another decision could be approve tech approaches. No, that will be too much for me. Maybe what else probably you do very frequently, or I say manage or say approve tech options. Let's put it like this only. Yeah. So assuming you are doing it, and you have all the skills to do it. Now we are trying to identify, is it something you do frequently or you do once in a while? Yeah, frequent, yes or not. So I can say that approve defect I do frequently. Yeah. Tech options decently frequent, not that frequent. Approve leave, not that frequent. Once in a while we have a situation. So assuming they are doing it like this. Is it time critical? I would say decent time critical, not much. This is very time critical. This is also decent time critical. Yeah, it has to be taken at technical decisions. Economy of scale, I can say it has a little bit of economy of scale in between. Here we don't have economy of scale. I can say no. For a tech option, maybe I can say yes, it has economy of scale. Yeah. So if I play with this, Then I can say, again, it's a small framework. We can sum total it. We can say it is coming 2. Here it is coming 6. Here it is coming 3. So what it tells is that if you have anything less than or equal to 3, you probably keep it centralized. But if you have something which is coming more than 6, you better decentralize. So if I am a manager, I decentralize the process of approving defect because it's a day-to-day job and it's a time critical. Better I don't involve myself that much. Yeah, so that's the idea. So it is just trying to show you that we can have such kind of decision-making exercise. As a manager and team member, we can sit together and we can list what all decisions we make. We can play and identify are they frequent, time critical, or required economy of scale. And based on that, we can categorize them that, okay, this decision will be taken by the team member, this decision will be taken by team leader, and this decision will be taken care by the managers. So that's a small idea of identifying centralized versus decentralized. In a safe word, Scrum word, this is already taken care by way of roles, by way of giving ownership of different backlogs. Like team backlog is a ownership of product owner. Portfolio backlog is a ownership of lean portfolio management. Like the prioritization of a team backlog is with the product owner. Estimation of a team backlog is with the team. The estimation of ART backlog is with the architect and the product management. The prioritization of ART backlog is with the product management. So those things we will see, and in a way that centralization and decentralization aspect is already taken care in the framework by default. But if there is any deviation, we can use this idea to identify how do we figure out who should make decision at what level. Yeah. So that's the centralized versus decentralized. From exam perspective, please do remember these keywords. You are expected to get it. The decisions which are frequent and time critical should be dash, centralized or decentralized. You can say decentralized. The decisions which are infrequent and long lasting should be centralized. That's the exam tip for you. Any question, comment before I talk about the final one? Good. Organize around value. So this principle is saying, in a simple word, create self-organizing team. Yeah, and create cross-functionality, which means the team should be able to do everything what is needed in order to deliver a product. The whole development value stream should be part of the team. So what they are saying is, say your customer is asking for a feature, and it may require business analysis, software work, QA work, operation support, and then customer gets it. Yeah? But if you have these kind of things happening, then there will be lots of hands-off. There will be lots of bureaucracy. People will not collaborate well because different departments are doing. Now, customer gives a call, what happened to my feature? Somebody will say, we need to see in which department it is right now. So it becomes difficult. Now, in a manufacturing company, this may work well, because there the variability is less. Once the flow is decided, it passes through the departments without much of back and forth. But in a software world, maybe business analyst identify a requirement and it is reached to a software and he has a better idea. Now he goes to a software guy. If we are organized like this, software guy will say, please talk to my boss because my boss has given me work for this month already. Now don't disturb me. So now it will discourage the collaboration. He has to go to his boss and his boss has to come here. A lot of political issues will come and that may result into not sharing the idea itself. And if you are not sharing the idea, again, we are blocking the creativity. So what we know as a software teams or a product development team, we are telling that better we create teams where we have one group which contains people from all the areas, and they are the part of one management and leadership group. They are talking together. They are one team. They have a common meetings, common planning meetings, and they have a requirement and they deliver it. That is what we should do. And which means in our safe world, we should form agile release train, which are cross-functional, which takes care of all the aspects of development. Yeah? And we call it organize around value. So a little bit more detail with the help of the term development value stream and operational value stream, which I introduced a little bit in advance yesterday. So we are saying instead of organizing around functions, we need to organize around development value stream. Now, what is development value stream? It includes activities which help us in identifying the opportunity and releasing it. So all the things which goes through the development process should be a part of one agile release stream. You know that development value stream contains steps, flow of information, material, and the people who will develop the solution. And ultimately, these solutions are used by operational value stream. So there will be our organization hierarchy which will use this product. They are the one who are raising these request. So when the feature request is coming and you know this is the group who is working and finally these all actions are needed in order to release the product, when we are forming the agile release train, we should form in such a way that it contains people from all the areas which are needed in order to convert the feature into running software. Yeah? And that is called organize around value, principle number 10. The only slide which is left here is trying to show us that many times this might be happening in a multiple geographical space. Your current network or your current hierarchical organization, different areas, different group may come into one agile release stream. So for example, you may be having credit card customers in US, you may have a data center in Middle East, you may have a development center in India. So when you are creating an agile release train, you may take few employees from US functions and you make them say product management because they understand the requirement well. You take few teams from data center group and you take many teams from development organization of India, and then you form an agile release train. When you are forming a new agile release train, you may need to bring people from different geographies and different areas, because you should see the customer flow rather than the geographical flow. It's not like India team, US team, Middle East team. It's more like, oh, credit card customers, the business understands the user behavior from US. These guys are supporting the data center for it, the same business credit card customer. And these are the people who will maintain the application related to credit card customers. Let's bring everyone in a one agile release train so that they will be able to do a requirement elicitation feature part US, development part India, maybe deployment and support part from the Middle East. So overall, we will take care of our credit card applications and their users. Yeah, so that will be the approach which SAFe recommends, and I think in the Scrum also recommends the same. At a smaller Scrum team level, we want to have cross-functional team which can convert the product backlog item into a running software without much of dependencies others. The same concept is explained here at an agile release train level. That's it. That's the idea of principle number 10. And good news is the principles are over and we can start with the framework now.